Hey guys, welcome to Cooking in the Kitchen with Chef D. On today's episode, we're making some fun little appetizer, bruschetta. Since the weather's getting super nice outside right now, this is like the best time for a light and tasty little appetizer. Maybe when you come home from work with a nice glass of white wine, or for a small dinner party that you guys are having. So basically all you're gonna need is, I have here vine ripe tomatoes. Now, you can use any kind of tomatoes that are on sale, some beefsteak, some plum tomatoes. I like the vine ripe tomatoes. What I have done is I've just cut them in a small dice. You're going to need salt, pepper, olive oil, oregano, fresh, beautiful basil that I have already chopped up, 2 cloves of garlic chopped, and sliced baguette. Now what I did is I got a French baguette from the grocery store. You can get whatever kind of baguette you would like. This is a sourdough baguette. Basically, I just cut it in a bias. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start. As you can see, I have diced tomatoes here. I'm going to add the chiffonade basil. I'm also going to add all of our garlic. Now, the reason why I'm making the mixture first is that you want it to sit for a while. The longer you let it sit with the salt, the pepper, the olive oil, the basil, the better it gets. Now we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt. And you want to do some oregano. Okay, so you also want to add about a teaspoon of oregano. If you like a little more oregano, you could add a little more oregano. If not, that is absolutely fine. And then you're going to need about 1/4 cup of olive oil. Now, you can totally eyeball it, or you can measure it out. You just want a good amount. You want to make it nice and moist. Then you're going to stir it up. Okay, so you're just going to stir it up a little, make sure everything's nice, well, and combined, and you're going to let that hang out now. Let it hang out for a few minutes while we move on to the bread. Okay, so here I have the bread. So what I did is I just drizzled a little bit of olive oil. You're going to put it in the oven for 375 degrees for about 5 to 8 minutes, just until it's golden brown and a little bit crunchy. So after about 5 to 8 minutes in the oven at 375, what our toasted bread looks like. It's got a little bit of color on the outside and it's nice and crunchy. So now it's time to put the yummy bruschetta together. So I let the bread cool off for about a minute or two before I am going to start the process. So here we go. Again, we have the mixture, which is the tomatoes, the garlic, the basil, a little bit of oregano and salt, pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. See how it's nice and marinated together, all this yumminess. So basically all you're going to do is take a spoonful and just put it right on top of your bruschetta. You can do this a little bit ahead of time, not too much ahead of time, because you don't want the bread to get too soggy. You want it to be still crunchy. So I suggest you do this a few minutes ahead of time before your guests come or before you're ready to eat. And there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun little episode of making some bruschetta. Once again, my name is Daniela Ferrante, and thank you for joining me in the kitchen with Chef D.